HH, I think it's one. So it was helpful just to put foam inside of the beginning low portion of the wall. On Osmeo it doesn't do much help. It gives just basic strict precautions, but it doesn't give any tips on how to use it. And by the way, you cannot put it in a section with the wiring. That's what they say. So the problems I faced is that you don't really know when it's over. So you have to kind of shake it and understand whether it's already empty or not. Because I went through some walls, it was still guggling and bubbling, but even when the tank is empty. So you really have to watch, shake it every time to see if it's empty or not, because you'll be fooled by all the sounds when you do in the wall, but it will be useless. Other difficulties I had with this foamer is that when you had to refill it, it's hard to see what kind of level of water you put in and other liquids, because it is still full of foam. It still is guggling, bubbling, so it will do the same thing when this will be empty. Only difference is that you see it's still coming even when I stopped. So this is, I understood, is the sign that there is still some liquid there. So that is the deal. You have to watch for, and that is a positive sign that you still have some liquid inside. So about the pumping, you have to pump quite a lot. So almost after every application. So this tip doesn't give more air than you pumped in this tank. That's just the law of physics. So the idea to saturate the material inside of the wall, but unfortunately there is at least one vapor barrier. So just right beside this material there is a vapor barrier, and the same thing on the other side of the wall. So what happens is it will get moisture, all the foam on the other side, but you see, termites, subterranean termites will still eat the carton, the paper on this side and on the other side. So what you do with it? Pretty much you cannot really target between this drywall and vapor insulation inside of it, because it is so thin. So I think this foamer does help partially, but you still might have a problem when the termites will be eating the paper on a drywall. So another myth about the use of this foamer. In the commercial it was saying, oh, just push in a valley of termite, and so it will travel in a termite holes and tracks. But you understand, termites are there, they make holes all over. So as soon as I push the button, the foam just comes back. So it can't really travel in termite tracks and hallways. What I have figured out that guggling and puffing is not a good thing. It means when there is foam going, it is going quietly. When there is all puffing and guggling, it means air pockets without any foam getting through. And for me it sounded like to be like the end of the fluid, but when I opened up there was still some fluid. I would say about this much left fluid, about this much. So maybe some kind of poor design or something, that when there is little left it doesn't do a really good job. This is how much foam it gives out when you make about 20 pumps. and when it gives this puffing and guggling sounds, so it gives out very little foam. And I think I made some section with such little foam in the area. Looks like I will have to be redoing some of my work when the tank coming to the end, because you still see that foam is going. You still see, but it's going in very slow motion, and a lot of air, just pure air, comes out. It's doing like so. Actually, I'll show it to you right now. And you see what happens when you're trying to refill it. I just added water, and because there is still some leftovers, you can't really know how much you put in unless you're doing like by measurements before adding it to there. So my conclusion, I have the feeling that I wouldn't buy it if I would knew all these complications. You see what kind of mess I've got? So my experience with filling up this, so I usually fill up just a bit more than half of a gallon, and then I fill up about 3 full these volumes, because it is liquid is not that fast, so I actually can fill up about almost full, and I do it about 3 times, and this is how the measurement, it comes out to about a little bit less than a gallon, and then I had about 5 ounces of foamer, and that roughly about 1 gallon from my experience. You see, viscosity of the bork here much smaller than water, so it takes quite a while for it to drain. As I said before that I wouldn't buy it. It's not for everyone. Like for me, because I'm doing the whole house treatment of the foam, it would be more wisely to get something with a pump without pumping it with hand. So this one is not really suitable for that. If you do just a spot treatment, a little bit here and there, so it's suitable. But 1 gallon of liquid, obviously it's not reasonable. You need to pump for about maybe an hour to pump out an entire gallon, maybe even 2 hours. So just imagine, it's almost on constant pumping in order to use 1 gallon of prepared liquid. So really that hand pump is not proportional to the volume of the liquid. This is how much foam it produced when it was nearly empty. So now I refilled it completely, so it's full, pumped, and I'm gonna show you how much it produced, ideally. You see the bubbles? It means it just pumps the air without any foam, just wasting the air you pumped it in. Those big bubbles are. So I would consider it's not functioning properly. Big bubbles. So it is wasted energy that you were pumping so hard. It's pumping pure liquid. Definitely not supposed to be like this. but I put like 10 3 OZ as recommended. See, quite poor job. Quite poor job. So I pumped it up a bit more. So now let's see how it's gonna give it. It's still giving me big bubbles. That's what it's supposed to be. I have a really good pressure. So that's the result. These are 2 pumps. So pumped it twice by about 30 pumps. It's 60 pumps. You can imagine it's really hard work. Half an hour passed. The density of the foam reduced maybe about 60%, even more, maybe 70. B&G Versafoamer. It has a quite useful application when you have already eaten by termites wood. So for example, I entered here and the foam exited over there. So but you see it doesn't travel very far because there are still holes. The problem with it is that when you enter with the pressure, quite often it backs up. And if it goes not very far because there is if it goes so you can imagine destroyed wood, there are too many holes. So ideally there would be one entrance, one exit, then it will do a good job. However, if it is already eaten wood, it's better than OcuSpray. It's definitely better than OcuSpray. But good wood, probably it will not, the foamer will not work, but OcuSpray will. But usefulness of OcuSpray is also quite limited. I made a test and it was almost useless. But this way it works pretty nicely. It spreads in the places where OcuSpray will not do the job.